Hi, I'm Matt from Iron Age Audioworks, and today we're going to talk about the QPP. This is the Iron Age Audioworks QPP. It's made in-house by hand by us here in Houston, Texas. You can find the product description and the manual on our website, but we'll go through it here together. So it's a 4-channel mic preamp in a 1-rack unit case. You can see we've got 4 identical channels, and each one has the same controls. So here you've got a gain knob. This is just the voltage gain or the volume. Next to that you have mute. This cuts the output on the output transformer to ground, so you get no volume. This button is your plus 48 volt for phantom powered microphones. Each channel also has a 20 dB pad. This has a characteristic impedance of 2300 ohms. That's a little bit higher than on some preamps, but I prefer it on certain dynamics. It tends to make them a little brighter. And then this is phase, so all this does is inverts the polarity of the output signal. And then this is kind of a nice feature. So the preamp by itself it runs a little hot. So sometimes we can get a different signal coming in that's a little bit, let's say, too hot for our converters, even when our gain's pulled back all the way. Then you'd use a pad, but sometimes the pad can change the tone slightly versus just going straight into the transformer. So you can use the 20 decibel pad, or you can just start rolling back on the output trim. So this is a continuously variable 600 ohm T-pad attenuator, and it's on the output side of the output transformer. So the output transformer always has a 600 ohm load. That's kind of nice because it means that no matter what you hook this up to, whether it's your interface or a piece of gear that has a different, maybe lower load, you're always going to get the same tone out of the box. Alternately, the other thing you can do is drive the preamp a little harder, maybe get a little bit of distortion or breakup on the op amp, and then pull back on the trim to keep from frying your converters or overloading the next thing on the signal chain. Then the last thing on the front panel that we have is power. That's pretty straightforward. Up is on, down is off, and you've got an LED to indicate when it is working. Alright, so this is the back of the unit. Pretty straightforward. We've got an IEC connector with a fuse here, user accessible fuse. You can use this to ground the case. This is a chassis ground. And then channels 4 through 1 going backwards. Each one has an XLR input and a TRS output. Alright, so pop in the lid. We see the layout of the circuit. The QPP uses a typical transformer balanced op-amp mic pre-circuit. This is something you would find in a Quad 8 or API console, or really any of dozens of designs over the years. It's a very simple circuit, but all of the character and everything is dependent on the components you put into it. So it depends on the op amp, the output transformer, and the input transformer, because basically those are the only 3 parts of the circuit. So up front we have all of our switches. The signal comes in here, goes through our pad resistors into our input transformer. We tested, I don't know, 5 or 6 different input transformers on this. We tested different ratios, different styles, different pedigrees, different manufacturers. We really love the Jensen 110K. It just, something about the way it paired with our op amp worked really well. Sonically, it also results in a really low noise circuit. We tested this one. We're averaging like minus 110 or 115 dBA noise, so it's really good. And then the op amp here, we've got it set up to take any op amp in the 2520 footprint. Default, we ship it with our hand-built M2s, which are a very high DC gain, very low distortion, high second order, even order harmonic op amp, which results in a clean, warm sound. You throw different op amps in there, like a Neumann style or a 2520 style, and you'll get different sonic characteristics. I mean, keep in mind all this is subtle, but you know, it's a way to change the character or the tone of the circuit. And then finally, we ship this with a Cinemag output transformer. That's a steel core transformer, which gives some nice warmth. It also gives some distortion up into the mid-range, which has a little bit more aggressive sound maybe in the mids. These two transformers and our op amp coupled together give a really characteristic, nice sound that can be anything from really clean and clear to start to get a little bit of edge on it depending on how hard you drive it. And that is the sound that we really love for our mic pre. And over here on the right, you can see the power supply section. This is a linear power supply. You've got basically 3 voltage regulators, one that does the plus voltage rail, one that does the minus voltage rail, and then one that does the phantom power. And that's all integrated onto the common PCB. So if you have any questions, reach out to us. Check out the website, check out the product description, and keep an eye on the YouTube channel. We're going to be adding more videos with demos and some samples that we make as we use our gear.